Hello, good morning, everyone. This is John Bietot. I'm the product manager for the adoption readiness tool ART at Micro Focus, and today we'll have a webinar about the MSP model for ART ELE Cloud SaaS. Hello, Anna. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, John. I'm well. Hope you are too.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for joining. And Annemarie is also joining our session. She's the Art Business Development Manager in the EMEAs, and she will also provide a demonstration for us of the whole platform. So this is the agenda for today. We'll talk a little bit about Micro Focus education and why education is important for you and your customers. We'll deep dive into the adoption readiness tool ART and the MSP ART ELE Cloud SaaS model. Then we'll have a demonstration from Anna, and then we'll talk about the service provider benefits and the new services you can deliver with this solution. And we'll then have a Q&A session. There is a question panel in your GoToWebinar box when you can ask and enter some questions, and we'll go through that. And at the end of the session, we'll also enable your microphone so we can also talk a little bit. So this is Micro Focus Education. Today we have the adoption and readiness tool ART for customers who want to create structured onboarding content. We have digital learning and exams available for customers who need online, self-paced, simulation-based trainings and exams. We also have instructor-led classroom trainings delivered currently mostly as virtual instructor-led courses through My Rooms. And we also have custom education services to meet the client's unique enablement needs. We're using the digital open badge platform Acclaim for any of the certifications that you have achieved. And here are a couple of links available where you can reach us. Very recently, we have been releasing a graphical learning paths documents where you can find graphically the courses and the certifications. So a really great asset. So we will deliver this presentation as a PDF after the webinar to you. So if we talk about Micro Focus enablement and adoption approach, we will include the various flavors that you have just seen. Just to summarize them in a different way here is, for example, we will deliver, of course, instructor-led courses and workshops to the key users that needs to get that enablement. And to highlight the difference between courses and workshops here is that instructor-led courses, they have 50% of the time instructors that are explaining things and are demonstrating the software to you. But the other 50% of the time you will perform structured hands-on exercises using a personal remote lab environment with all the Micro Focus software pre-configured that you need to learn, and it comes together with a step-by-step lab exercise guide and student guide. And that's very different from a workshop, because a workshop you don't have these things, you just have the instructor who will perform the demonstrations and will explain things to you, and there might be a small kind of exercise document, but not a full step-by-step lab exercise guide as with an instructor-led course. Next to that, for the majority of people, we have, of course, the digital online courses and exams. Let's say you have an enablement of 500 people or 1,000 people or even beyond that, then it becomes, of course, very expensive to get everyone into classroom training sessions. So therefore, we have other ways of delivering courses. It could also be in the shape of a larger webinar. You can deliver content and training. But also we have digital online courses and exams available on our Micro Focus education learning management system. Next to that, we also have ART. We use ART ourselves as well as Micro Focus education to create all of our training courses and step-by-step lab guides and online courses with simulation-based exercises. And we sell ART also to our customers to create their own custom training course content. And this content can be published as HTML and other formats and copied over into a web server of the customer, and also can be published as SCORM files, which is an international standard for learning management system, to get it onto a learning management system LMS for full tracking and tracing and reporting. And a lot of customers really like that last one as well, because for an important go live, you really want to make sure that your employees are fully trained and ready and have completed the mandatory courses before go live. And if you look at the other flavor, to be able to copy and publish things is HTML and get it on an intranet or web server is also really handy, because that means that learners have immediate access through direct URLs to that content and support materials. So both options is really great, I think. Why should education be important to your customers? It will reduce cost. So 1 hour of training saves 5 hours of lost productivity. Trained users need 6 times less support than untrained users. But it of course also drives business value for customers. When adoption is successful and users capitalize on the software benefits, you will drive real business value from that. It will also decrease risk, 50% fewer operational errors when users are well trained. You will increase the efficiency overall of the whole workforce. Highly trained employees work much more efficient and lose less time searching around how to do certain tasks. So why is education important to you as a service provider? Well, you will have 20% more maintenance renewals, license sales, subscriptions, and services from these customers. You will have 40% less shelfware from educated customers, and you will have 50% fewer support tickets from educated customers. And this comes from a study of HPE Software executed in 2018. Let's talk about the adoption and readiness tool. In short, we call it ART. ART delivers actually a user adoption. It boosts the user adoption, and it's based on 3 key principles. It's based on being able to deliver structured onboarding materials to the learners. It's based on delivering continuous enablement and more training to your users. And it's also capable of providing quick access to relevant support content. So ART can do all of these 3 key ingredients to boost user adoption. So if we take a look at how ART is doing this, we created this slide for you. So ART comes together with a capture engine. So you just switch on the capture engine. You then click yourself through your application. You perform the keyboard operations, you type in things, and all of that will be captured automatically by ART. All mouse actions, all keyboard actions will be captured automatically by ART, and also screenshots will be made as well by ART, and ART will detect on which buttons or which fields you have been clicking on. So from that, it puts all the content into an editor, and from that editor, from that single source file, you can generate all sorts of training content. For example, you could publish it out as job aids in different formats, and you choose any of the 33 languages, because in job aids you generally have step-by-step instructions with a screenshot with an indication where you clicked on that step, and it has generated an instruction underneath, like click this button or do this and that and so on. And that is all auto-generated in the language of your choice. From that editor, you can also generate simulation-based hands-on exercises as a show me, try me, or even a test me simulation. ART can also generate product demonstration video from that editor. Just record your voice narration or use the text-to-speech, click publish, and you have a perfect product demonstration video generated by ART that you can use elsewhere. In the editor, you can also create courses. So in these course modules, you can include all sorts of multimedia content that you generated with ART or with other products. So you can include your product demonstration video, you can include your job aids, you can include your simulation-based exercises, the show me, the try me's, the test me's, and you can of course also include assessment questions like multiple choice questions or fill in a word question or drag and drop questions, or even a test me validation where we are validating step by step how well that user still knows some of these processes that you try to explain in the show me and the try me simulations. ART can also distribute the content as SCORM files, and that's an international standard for learning management systems to track and trace compliance and to track and trace if users have completed the courses before an important go live. But ART can also distribute the content as HTML for a web server or for a cloud portal with navigation links to course modules with direct access as well outside of the course modules to the job aids and also the simulations. So we have several examples available on our website microfocus.com/software/art. So here are the samples available. We also have a direct link available that you see here. You can either navigate from the main website or use this URL that you see here to navigate to samples of our content packs. So we call them content packs. This is learning content that we as MicroFocus have created over for the different software solutions of MicroFocus. What is included in these ART content packs? Well, they are being sold as software, similar as the ART software, similar as any other software at MicroFocus. It's licensed software, and it comes together with the ART source files. It means you can edit and customize them using the ART editor. And it's very easy. It's what you see is what you get. You click in the content, you can change the text. It's very simple, very easy to use. It also comes together with the SCORM files for uploading to a learning management system, and it comes together with the ART published HTML website, the easy navigation structure to navigate to all the content, job aids, and simulations. And you can copy that over into your web server or cloud portal. The license that comes along with this content packs allows for using it within the legal entity of the company who bought it. So in that way, this cannot be reused in the MSP model of ART ELE Cloud, but you can resell this, of course, and then deliver additional services. There are two main license models with the basic ART software and the ART content packs. It's the named user license model. That means that anyone using content, consuming content that was made with ART or is using the ART Outer Dev Kit to create content needs to be on that named user list. And we sell the user license packs in licenses of 50. And so 50 named user licenses in one pack. We also have the alternative model, which is the enterprise license model. So you can buy also content packs as an enterprise license that then comes together with an ART Outer license if you want. And if you create content with the ART Outer license, you can distribute the content throughout the whole enterprise of that company who bought the ART Outer Kit or the enterprise content pack. Some challenges for creating onboarding content in general. It's, for example, customers asking here, can I centrally manage the tasks for creating all this onboarding content that I need for my users? Can I store all onboarding content somewhere centrally and manage it centrally? Is there a way to version control all the onboarding content that I'm creating? How can I actually quickly publish and distribute content online? I actually don't have a web server, and if I would need to arrange one, it would take me 3 months. Is there another way to quickly publish things online? Can I have access control to separate content between customers or between certain user groups so that not everyone sees all the content, right? Another question here is, can all content be indexed automatically to make it searchable? It's nice to have content in a structured way, but what if I want to search for something if I don't see it right away? Well, all of this can be done with the ART Enterprise Learning Edition Cloud, or in short, we call it ART ELE Cloud. So the ART ELE Cloud is actually ART. It has all the basic features and functions of ART and comes together with the capture engine and the editor to create content. But beyond that, it comes together with a portal, with a centralized portal that you can use to manage all the content, to store all the content, and also to distribute all the content online. And in addition, it also has context-sensitive help. You can use the context-sensitive help feature to develop content for any business application and provide context-sensitive help for that through this platform. So to visually present this to you, we've put here this graph together. In the middle you see the ART ELE Cloud Portal. So if you order this, you will get a URL, username, and password for the admin account, and that allows you to create more user accounts, because anyone that wants to make use of this needs to have a user account, either a normal user account as an end user, or an author account, or even an admin account to manage projects and create content. So you can see that on the right hand side we see there the service provider employees that can download the ART ELE Cloud Editor, install it on their desktops, and then start to create content and perform then check-ins of the content into the cloud portal. An admin type of person could then manage the distribution and the publishing to bring things online. And then on the left hand side we have the customer, who is then accessing the ART ELE Cloud Portal and has role-based access to fully indexed and searchable content. Also, the customer can actually download the ART ELE Cloud Editor as well and create their own content if they would like to. In addition, you can also upload existing third-party content as SCORM files into this ART ELE Cloud Portal. Some of our customers that we've been talking to, they were struggling to bring things online, and yeah, it's actually very easy to bring existing SCORM files online. It's not more than 3 or 4 clicks, and you have it online, and it's published and accessible on the ART ELE Cloud Portal. Also, what is possible as a service provider, you can distribute your content as local HTML files. You can publish it as a local HTML website, or you can publish it as SCORM files, and then you can upload it into your local intranet or internal learning management system for access to your internal employees. The other option available here, but it's only available under the enterprise license model for MSP ART ELE Cloud, and that is to publish it as HTML under your service provider web portal. You might have an existing web portal through which your customers are accessing your hosted solutions, for example. So then I can imagine that you as a service provider would have the learning content there rather than having another place where customers would have to go to and need a user account for. So with the enterprise license model, you can publish that on your own service provider web portal where customers also have access to. What is not allowed in this model by default is that customers who are then using the MSP ART ELE Cloud Editor to publish and store content on their LMS or local web server. That's only allowed unless the customer has bought ART licenses. If they buy ART licenses, software licenses themselves from Micro Focus, or you're reselling those licenses to them, then that is allowed, of course. Then they have the full license and can also publish it on their web server or LMS as well. It also means for the service provider, you cannot publish any of the content on the customer LMS or web server unless they have ART licenses. Great. So with the ART ELE Cloud SaaS subscription, you get all the great features of ART to create content, create simulation-based courses, product demonstration videos, create courses, and all these things. But you get more. You get that central version-controlled repository where authors can check in all the learning content and can share it with all the other authors on that project to collaborate together on that content. Authors can also trigger workflows to ensure content is being reviewed through a sequence of approvers. Users can access all of their role-based training content and can also search for content. It's all being indexed automatically by the search engine. You can also create context-sensitive help and provide this context-sensitive help through, for example, a browser plugin that end users can click to receive that context-sensitive help for any of the business applications that they're using. Users, through the learning library, can set their favorites, they can share URLs of great training content that they found with others. An email is then being sent to the others. They can look up also their assessment results, and they can also register for content change notifications. If anything changes on that page that they find really interesting, they will get an email that a newer version has come available. Okay, Anna, it's time for you to perform the technical demonstration on the ART ELE Cloud. Let me give you the presenter rights.
Thanks, John. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Marie Jupp. I'm the Business Development for ART across EMEA, and I'm going to show you a demonstration of, firstly, the ART client, and then also some of the functionality that we have in the administration and authoring portal and the end user portal on the cloud SaaS version of ART. Now, I am a subject matter expert. This is my target application, which is just the Micro Focus website that ART will capture against nearly anything Windows or web-based. And for that reason, you can see that the scope of this tool is actually much bigger than just our Micro Focus tools. So in terms of being a subject matter expert, what I need to do is capture a process that I do all the time that I need to enable my colleagues on, okay? This is the capture engine, and to start, it's really very simple. I just press record. Now I'm going to click through a few of these processes or a few of these steps in the process. Okay. And you'll see here that what is being captured in the capture engine is the action that I took, which in this case was a click, the object in the user interface, in this case the products link, and then a teeny tiny snapshot of the screen where the action took place. And then in addition, but underneath, and you can't see it, is a snapshot of the entire desktop. And this is how ART builds up the simulated environment. The actions can be any actions that you would normally do. So in this case, typing actions, double clicks, right clicks, left clicks, drags, all of the normal stuff that you would do as part of your process. Okay, and when I finished, all I need to do is press stop here. And then what happens is I go directly into the ART developer kit, and from that developer kit, I'm able to then edit out and publish out the process that I've just captured. Okay, you see that that process took 30 seconds for a 9-step process. And again, you can use this on nearly anything Windows or web-based, as well as our own Micro Focus tools. So good practice is just to click through and check that everything appears as you want it. And you can see here that everything has rendered and captured just how it should be. Because the steps are discrete, and this is not video production software, so ART is not recording my screen, it's recording my actions. If I need to delete anything, I can just delete them without affecting the running order, without having to remove a section of the video and stick the two things back together again. It's really a lot more simple than that. Generally speaking, we would put a note in at the beginning of the simulation, and this would just tell the learner what it is that they are going to cover. As I click out of the note, it auto sizes for me. So it's all of these small functionalities that actually really help you to save time. This all works on drag and drop, so I can just move things around until I'm happy with how they are, or I can just leave them. You can adjust playback timings of the notes. So for example, I might want this to display for 4 seconds. You can also manage a default timings in the template as well. So you can either do it there, or you can do it individually, or you can do a combination of both things. There's a whole bunch of extra functionality here, which I'll just walk you through quickly so you can see the kind of things you could do. For example, here you can record audio, okay, just through your headset, as you would expect, or you can set the audio source to text to speech. You can also add transcripts here, which can be toggled on and off during playback, and all of this audio functionality really helps to make your learning content accessible and work to your learners' learning styles. Okay. Here I'm able to do some edits of the screen on the individual steps. So here I could paste in a new screenshot. Say, for example, my user interface has changed slightly. I don't need to re-record the whole simulation. I can just add in the screenshots where the changes have been made. And again, this is a way of saving you time and making it really easy to maintain that content. Here in this edit functionality, I can mask areas of the screen. So if I'm working with sensitive information on a live system, I can still use the live system because that gives the learner the best possible chance of retaining the knowledge. But here I can just mask out those areas that I don't want the learners to see. And here, this is where the context information is captured. Okay, so this is done automatically. You don't need to do anything, but this you will see a bit later is really important for the context-sensitive help or the in-application support that ARC provides on the cloud SaaS version. There is other functionality as well that you can explore, and if anyone's interested to see it, we can schedule a more in-depth demo, but this would just give you an idea of the kinds of things that you could do. So when I'm happy with my simulation, I just save it, and then I can check it into the server. So here I would just select the correct folder that I want it to be in, and I would check it into the server. Now, the point of doing this is that now somebody else, so another author, or if I'm the subject matter expert, somebody who is a quality reviewer or whatever they happen to be, can pull the simulation down from the server, they can check it out, and they can make some adjustments to it. Okay, so they can make it more consistent with an organization's branding, for example. They can, add some further subject matter expert notes. They can do stuff like check for typos and make sure that it makes sense from a business perspective as well as a technical perspective. Once it's up there on the server, it can be downloaded by anybody with access to that project as an administrator of some kind or an author. So now here it's been checked in, and we can switch straight to the server and view the file that we've just checked in. So here is my project. This is the administrators and authors portal. Okay, so from here I can do some work in the back end. So you see I've got a document library here, got a template assigned to my course or my simulation. And here in the document library, you can see the simulation that we've just added. If I go into it, here you've got information about the website context, and usually here I would assign a website context, and that enables it to be seen by the learner when they're viewing it from the learning library. So that's the end user portal. Here I can click into the translations, and you can see a bunch of information about the versioning, okay, and that's really important, as John was saying earlier. So this one's at version 1. If there were multiple versions of this course, you would be able to see them underneath here, okay? And also, as well as being able to see them, what I can do is roll back the version. So if some changes were made that I wasn't happy with, I can roll it back. From here, I can also download the latest version. And you'll see that here, get latest version. So after I've assigned website context to it, I might choose to then publish it. Once it's published, it can be seen by the learning community, okay? Here I would click to select to publish the documents now, and I would go okay, but I'm not going to publish it right now. I prepared one earlier for you. If we go back up to the project level, and this is a project administrator's view as well as an author's view. I'm able to edit the properties of that project. And here I can do things like individually add end users. I can add another author. So that would be someone who is able to download my files and make some changes to them. And I can add other project administrators to this project who can do things like run reports and create workflows and things like that. I can also enable the assessment score tracking, which means that for every learner that takes my simulation or my course, I'm able to then create a report or run a report to see who has passed and failed. And that way would help me to identify who needs some further learning assistance. As a system administrator, which I am, you can also have the option to do some of that administration stuff at the server level as well as at the project level. So here there's a whole bunch of functionality around users, adding them to groups or creating groups, and then creating or adding people to roles. Okay, so for each project on the server, there is 3 roles: for the administrator, for the author, and for the user, the end user. So that's your learner, and you can just add people to those roles as you want to. So that's a kind of quick tour of the administration or authoring portal. And then let's just go into the end user portal, and then you can see what it's like for a learner. They log into the server or to the portal, and here their access to the projects on here is determined by their roles and groups. Okay, so you can restrict access or you can provide access as you prefer. And that's how you kind of limit the content that your learners are able to see. So this was our folder. And here in this folder, we've got the simulation that's been published. Now, as the learner, I've got a number of different options available to me as to how I want to consume that content. So I can view it as a simulation and as one of 4 different flavors of simulation. We have a show me, which is a demonstration, a try me, which is a practice lesson. Now, this is really great for giving your learners the opportunity to have a go at those processes and tasks in a completely safe environment, far away from your live environment. Also, you have a quiz me and a test me. A test me is a graded practical assessment, and a quiz me is an ungraded practical assessment. Let's just launch the show me, and you can see the content that we created in about 30 seconds using the ARC client. Okay, so you can see here that you're watching the demonstration. It looks like a video, but actually it's not, because there's a bunch of interactivity here, which you don't get in a video beyond the play and pause. As like a video, I can play and pause it here. I can move the simulation forward step by step by step. Okay, so that's great if you're going through a really complicated process and you just need to kind of get one piece down and then the next and the next. Here I'm able to pop out the steps in an interactive menu, and that I can also use to navigate through as well. And then I get to the end of that simulation. So that's one of the options available to me to consume that content. Alternatively, if I prefer, I can look at the written document. So this is a process guide or a job aid that was automatically generated when I checked in and published the file. So it's exactly the same simulation, except this time it's written in written format. Okay, here you've got the screenshot, just like in the simulation. You've got the action and the object, and you've got the snapshot where the action took place. But here also you've got these arrows that line up to exactly where you should click as the learner. So that's really important for our either for reference or for our learners who prefer to read a document as opposed to watching something. If I click down here at share, I can then download a copy of that PDF, and either I can save that and keep it for reference, or you can put it on a SharePoint, for example, or you can use it as the basis for creating your student guides if you want to take a blended approach to learning. The other option I've got here is a procedural table. There are other options available. For example, an MP4 video is another publishing option that you can use. It's just not enabled here. So this looks like a written guide, again, to the simulation that we've just seen. But instead of being just a static document, this one is an interactive document. So say I get to step 2, I'm a bit confused about what I'm meant to do. I can click right into the screenshot here. Okay, so now I've got the screenshot and the information exactly. Where do I click? Down here I've got the action that I need to take, and then instead of going in and out and in and out, I can just navigate straight through the screenshots, and this is a more visual approach to a written document. The other thing I wanted to show you was around the context sensitive help. So this is in essence your in-application support. This is Workday, this is our expense system. I earlier created a simulation on how to submit an expenses report. You see this blue question mark has now been enabled in my browser. if I'm on this page and I don't know how to create my expenses report, instead of going into the end user portal, looking for the simulation and playing it back to myself, instead here I can just click this question mark. And what that does, it calls out to the cloud server and it searches for matching context information. So where I recorded this simulation before, Art captured the context information of the URL and the application I was working on, and it's now matched it to where I am right now. Okay, if there's more than one simulation created using the same context information, then you would have an option. Which one did you want to view? So you can see here now I have guided prompt. It's always on top, which is great for being able to work on the live application with a little bit of support. So you can see here, click the expenses item. Here I've got some information. There's a number of different things you can do here, and today we're going to create an expenses report. So I click expenses, and then here I'm informed that I need to click the create expense report. The next step is to complete the memo field. So I find that and I type in, here's an example, click OK, go all the way through to the end until I actually submit the report. Okay, so that will help me to complete that process by myself. Now, if I don't want to read a document like this, or I don't find it the format that actually helps me learn, then I can click this view as a different format option. And here I'll go straight back into the cloud portal where I can access those same publishing formats that we've just looked at. The show me, try me, quiz me, test me simulations, the job aid or process guide, which I can also download, and the interactive procedural table. If I go back to our Workday application here, if I need to find something else, then I can click the search option here, type in my search term, and it will pull from the server all of the content that includes the text ALM in the title or the description. And now I'm able to access whole courses, whole modules around that particular topic. So it provides this connection between the two that saves you needing to go straight back in and supports the learner whilst they're in the live application. So I'm just going to select one of these for demonstration purposes. And here, instead of a simulation, what I've got is a course module. So if I click to launch that course module, this is from one of our pre-created content packs. So these were built by our subject matter experts on ALM. I can navigate through the course using the menu. The slightly different icon here, it denotes a simulation page. I can download anything that's been attached to this module. So for example, all of our process guides or job aids are attached here. But in addition, you can add PowerPoint decks, you can add links to your systems or your policy information, Word documents, PDF documents, MP3 files, literally anything that you want, you can add in here. And this is how you start to create more of a knowledge base rather than just a training course. It's worth noting that PowerPoint decks can also be imported directly into the course pages themselves, as well as being added to this download section. I can also navigate through using the next buttons. As you would expect, you have an introduction, and then you would have some learning outcomes, and then you would go into this contextual information, conceptual information. And this is either foundational knowledge, for example, so this is here's an overview of how to set up a flow, or it's things like system architecture, process, flows, all the things that your learner needs to understand, the whys of why we're doing something, not just the hows of how to do something. This page, for example, has hotspots in it. So that's a way of providing more interactivity and also not overwhelming the screen with so much text. And then we go into our simulation pages. Okay, so this is like the simulation that we've just watched back and just captured in a few minutes. This is a simulation on creating workspaces. The learner has the option for the show me, the demonstration, or the try me, which is the practice lesson. So I can either watch it or I can do it myself. If I click through to the Try Me, for example, the flow of this is slightly different. So instead of me passively watching, I need to complete that step in order for the simulation to move on. Okay, so you can see it's me this time because it's everywhere. Okay, and I need to move the simulation on by completing the steps in the process. Okay. At the end of each module, we would usually put in a summary. So what can the learner have got from this course? And then a assessment. Okay. You'll see here that this assessment is made up of 4 questions. 3 of those questions will be theoretical questions, and 1 of those questions will actually be a practical assessment or a test me. And in this way, it allows you to check, does your learner understand the concepts presented to them in this module, and can they actually do the task? So that just gives you an idea of what the content packs look like. And then we looked at the management center, which is your administration authoring portal. And then we had a look at how it would look for an end user or for a learner. And that's all I really wanted to cover. So I'm going to hand back to John for discussion on the benefits of our MSP program.
Thanks very much, Anna, for this demonstration. So here's a slide that summarizes all the features that you have seen from using the art capture engine, the art editor, and also the ELE portal to publish your content online and to manage your content online. So let's jump into the service provider benefits for the MSP model for Art ELE Cloud SaaS. So how can you monetize this? So you have seen you can create structured onboarding content with Art. You can also generate in-application context-sensitive help for any business applications. You can distribute the learning content easily, and you can then monetize this solution by giving your customers access to your onboarding content that you created for the IT implementation that you're providing to your customers. You can also monetize Art by giving access to the Art ELE Cloud Developer Kit, so customers can also create their own additional custom onboarding content. You can also monetize Art by delivering additional learning services to create custom onboarding content for your customers. You can also sell additional customization services, so create custom onboarding content for your customer's specific IT solution, processes, and use cases. You can also help the customer to upload third-party SCORM files and other documents that are important for them into this Art ELE Cloud portal. You can also train the customer on how to create this onboarding content using Art. You can also help the customer to translate existing content that they bought from Micro Focus. You can also resell Art software and deliver even more services. For example, you can resell the Art software using the 2 different license models we have available, the user model and the enterprise model. You can also resell the Art ELE Cloud solution itself, so that the customer can set up a private environment with only their content into the Art ELE Cloud solution. You can also resell Art course content packs. That's also software. We sell it as software. Education maintains it and releases newer versions of that. So customers might be interested in our standard out-of-the-box content to start their learning process. So after you've resold Art or the Art course content packs, you can help the customer to customize these Art course content packs. Perhaps some of the modules are not being used because they were not implemented. These software features are not implemented yet. So you can take them out, or you can create additional content, customize it, and then publish it. After reselling Art, you can also provide services to deploy the Art onboarding content into the customer learning management system or their local intranet if they would like that. Or perhaps they want to get it uploaded into this Art ELE Cloud portal that you're providing to them. After reselling Art, you can also customize the Art publishing template and insert customer logos, colors, and fonts, and then republish all the content for them. You can republish also existing art course content packs with that customer art publishing template. So again, here's an overview of the art content packs. You can resell these art content packs to your customers. You can also buy art content packs for yourself, for your own internal enablement needs as service provider. Remember, they come together with the art source files, the SCORM files for uploading into an LMS, and the art HTML website. So this is a summary of the service provider model, art, ELE, cloud, SaaS that we discussed today. So it's all about creating onboarding content, structured onboarding content to boost the user adoption of the IT solutions that you're providing to your customers. It can auto-generate a great variety of content as what you have seen. You can publish all of your content and assessments very easily on this cloud portal, and you can deliver additional learning services to your customer. There is a free online training available at microfocus.com/software/art. It's available for everyone that is using art or is using the art ELE cloud solution. We created this training, by the way, with art. So contacts available here in EMEA is Juan Sandoval and Anna-Marie Jupp. In the Americas region, we have Hengi Pham and Luis Burgos, and in APJ we have Mei Yang. I think we can close the session, Anna.
Okay, perfect. You have the contacts if you need any further information. Someone on that list would be more than happy to help you. And thanks very much for attending.